guys, it's Natalie. Welcome to my channel. If you see like black stuff all over me, I filmed this all on this and yesterday's video all on Tuesday, and I got my hair done, so it's hair dye. Tomorrow is my test. I'm so nervous. That is kind of why I don't really have time this week to be going into tutorials or all that. They take longer to edit. So I was like, chit chat videos don't take very long to edit. So I'm like nervous to do this video, but I'm just gonna do it. I knew that I was gonna do this video. I just didn't know when I was gonna do it. I guess I was kind of like avoiding it, and then there were some other reasons that I wasn't sure if it was the right time. But I really just like thought about what I want to do, and I really am focused on kind of starting my own business. And I met this lady shoe shopping last week, and she's been a hairdresser for 40 years. Did I mention this? Yes. She owns her own salon in a area around me that would be awesome to do lashes or makeup in, and she offered me a room. So that is totally awesome. It helped me decide kind of like what I was gonna do. She said, you know, it will be your own thing, and I was like, that's exactly what I want. And I kind of told her the experience I just had at Sephora, and she was like, you don't need that. And kind of like reiterated to me what I already knew, like that I just need to do my own thing. And say it wouldn't work out at her salon, she was so nice, and she just really helped me decide what I kind of don't want to do, I guess. Just a little disclaimer before I start this video. This video is going to be about my experience at Sephora. A little disclaimer before I start it. My Sephora is a Sephora inside Penny's, JCPenney's. So it is not affiliated with Sephora. They're two different things, like Sephora inside Penny's and then Sephora the standalone stores. So mine is not affiliated with the Sephora standalone stores, so I cannot speak on Sephora the standalone stores. I cannot speak on Sephora inside JCPenney's other than mine. It's just my experience with the store I was in. So I don't want to say, like, I don't want people to think I'm speaking badly about Sephora as a whole. Also, JCPenney's was nothing but nice to me. I have nothing that I could say about them either. They were great. So, I mean, this is just speaking on the store that I was in. There's one coworker in there that I love to death. I mean, she is just amazing. The customers love her. Her personality is amazing. And I knew her already before I started. And then there are some girls that I met in there that are just awesome too. Like, seriously, such awesome girls. So this is like in no way directed towards anyone. Any coworkers. It's kind of why I was hesitant to make the video, but then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna make it because I have a right. I can say what I want to say, and like, if I feel that I was treated in a certain way, then why can I not say what I want to say about it? And just so you know how loosely our Sephora is associated with Sephora, I was like just very angry like 2 weeks ago with the whole situation, and I called Sephora and I was like, what do I do? Like, I want to talk to somebody like higher up. I just don't like how this is being handled. And they were like, we honestly can't do anything. You have to contact Penny's. And then I didn't, just because, I don't know, I was so fed up, and like, I didn't, because like I kept going back and forth. Like, I mean, yes, I wanted to, but I was like so, like, I get nervous about stuff like that. Like, I don't know how to speak my mind in work type situations. So anyway, here, let's just get started with it. Okay, so I got hired on as seasonal when I was still in school, and I finished school while I was there. Maybe I'm crazy, but, and this is in no way saying I'm better than it. This is not what this is about. Sephora is a makeup store. Being an esthetician is about skincare, and my main focus is makeup. Like, that's what I love. So you would think that, like, okay, this girl is like obsessed with makeup, truly wants to work here, and went to school to be an esthetician. Like, it's just, I just could not grasp it, I guess. Okay, here's what happened. So, she hires me on as seasonal. Interview is fine, whatever. I believe that she kept saying she was only hiring me as seasonal, but there were some other girls at the time that she was going to hire on full time. And it was kind of like, okay, like, Natalie is obsessed with makeup. Natalie wants to be an esthetician, wants this job so much, so why would you hire somebody else who isn't really as into it over someone who really, like, wants it? Or some, like, rumor things that I may have heard, but it was kind of like, okay, whatever. She hired me as seasonal, great. As long as I do my job, like, there's a very good chance that I'll get to stay. So my first 2 days of training were with Penny's, and then at the end of the second day, I had an hour left until I was done, and they were like, okay, go head down to Sephora just for like an hour, you know, whatever, so you can, like, introduce yourself, you know. So I go down, and there are 2 workers there. One being the girl who I was, like, supposed to be following around, and she's also the one who is the one who's just, like, so super nice, and another girl I don't really know. So, you know, they show me around a little bit, the most you can do in an hour's time. I thought we all got along great, you know. I mean, the one was my friend, so, like, I knew her. I don't know, I thought it went well. The next day, I'm in school, and I get a phone call, and it's the manager. And I'm thinking, like, right off the bat, okay, she's calling me to, like, talk about the schedule. I was so excited, like, to hear from her. No. She, pretty much told me that she doesn't want me to work there, but without saying that. She said that she heard that both of the girls felt very uncomfortable around me, that I made them feel very uncomfortable because I came in there and I said that I'm an esthetician and they're not, and I refuse to ring people out of the register, and I refuse to take out the trash, and I'm not doing anything except for makeup while I'm there. And if I'm gonna have that attitude, I really can't be working there, and she doesn't want people like me. And I'm like, just like, I'm like, what? Like, I wasn't even, like, sad, because I was so, my mind was blown. I was like, what are you even talking about? None of this was said. I never even talked about doing makeup. Nothing was ever said about the trash. Do you know what was said about the trash? All 3 of us were standing there, and the one girl goes, I would show you how to take out trash, but it's self-explanatory. Then, after she says it, all 3 of us go, ha ha ha, yeah. On to the next subject. I'm like, what? Nothing was ever even said about trash for me to even have a chance to say I wouldn't take it out. Why would I go somewhere and say that, like, people might think I'm stupid, whatever, like, I don't know, but, like, I'm not. Why would I do that? That doesn't even make sense. And believe it or not, I'm a really good worker. Like, I worked somewhere for 7 years, 3 years, like, I go places and I stay. I don't call off, I don't dick around, like, I'm a good worker, okay? The majority of my coworkers and managers have always liked me. I've had maybe 2 managers that really didn't care for me. Like maybe we butted heads, but they could still never say that I didn't do my job. And I never even felt what I felt from her in this situation from any of them in like years time period. Okay. So she informs me that I say all this, and I'm like, this is honestly like ridiculous. Like I don't even know what to say or to defend myself because none of this was said. This is crazy. So, you know, by the end of the conversation, she's pretty much like, it was all just a big misunderstanding, I guess. Let's just start over. And I'm like, okay. Like, okay. When I tell you it was so rude, like, genuinely rude. And I didn't even start. I was there an hour. So who wants to walk into a situation like that? I'm like sensitive and I take work serious. Like I truly do. I am not kidding when I say that was on a Friday. I laid in bed and cried all weekend over this because it was just so upsetting to me. Like I could not believe that she treated me like that. I could not believe that a manager felt that way about me. Like the whole situation just really like ruined it from the gate. So I end up talking to the girl who is my friend, and like all of it was just crazy. She ended up talking to the manager and letting her kind of know that that's not really how it was. The manager never brought it up again. I feel like I was owed an apology. I do. I don't. It was crazy. She never brought it up again. Okay, so like I let it go. Okay, the only thing I can say about the first day I was there, okay, the subject on me being an esthetician and saying I'm one and they're not, the only time it was talked about is we were talking about doing makeovers, and they said like you could do, like we can't apply false lashes because you have to be an esthetician to do that. Like that's the only part of the makeover they can't do. And they were like, oh, well, you would be able to. And then I don't even know like how the conversation went word for word, because like how would I remember that? But like I was pretty much saying like the only reason I even went to be an esthetician, like, you know, was because of makeup. Like that's what I want to do. And they were saying how like, well, you don't have to be an esthetician in PA to be a makeup artist. And I was saying, well, that's not what they told me at school. And okay, you don't, but in some situations you do. It's like there's a lot of gray areas in like cosmetology and like the makeup field there is. Like you don't really have to be an esthetician, but in some circumstances you do in order to apply makeup. So like for me, it's just like that, like I knew that I wanted to be an esthetician, and I knew I wanted to be one because I want to be a makeup artist. Is pretty much like what I was saying. But like the one girl like I was really close to, so I don't feel like she knows me. Like I was not like being rude at all. Like, and I don't know, the conversation, it just was not rude or like that. Like I don't know. Like I racked my brain forever to try to figure it out, and I just couldn't. So okay, so that goes by. We're past it. Whatever. You know, I go to work. Blah blah blah. She's one of those people where it's like one of those personalities where it's like, hey, what's up? How's the weather? And I noticed that that's how it is with everyone, kind of. There's not like much depth. So I was like, okay, maybe it's not just me, but like she really like was more like that with me. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm just seasonal. She doesn't get to know, like, isn't gonna get to know me yet. But like, I don't know, it was really just like nothing with me. And when she would like talk to me, it was just very condescending always, I felt. So, you know, like I would say things like, so what do I have to do? Like, when do I find out if I get to stay? And she would say things like, oh, well, keep up your fine mores and keep up your credit cards and blah, blah, blah. So like I was doing all that. Okay, let's talk about this. So the fine more are like, you gotta sell so much like in a week. So the week she told me that, you gotta sell 25 in a week. It's like online sales. I sold like 250. Okay, so I did that. Credit card sales, I only got one like the whole time I was there. And I also know that a lot of the permanent workers didn't get many more than me. So like Can't say it was that either, you know? And half of the time I was only on the register, like these long lines, like it's hard to ask people if they want a credit card with like line, like an hour long just line. So anyway, that part is all pointless. So I was like, okay, well, I feel like she's definitely gonna keep me. Like, the way she spoke to me was like she was gonna keep me. It was almost to me like, you should have told me. And like, now when I think back, it's like she knew all along she wasn't gonna keep me. Well, you should have just told me that instead of like leading me on. Like, I remember her saying like, oh, I made you a bag of gratis, I'm gonna put it in the back. Yeah, I never got that, you know? So anyway, I want to say it was the last shift I worked. I have a little list here, hold on. Oh, okay, so and the real kicker is, when that whole incident happened at the beginning and I was reprimanded, the girl that like said all of it like apologized to me, and I was like, it's okay, like I'm sorry, this all like, and hugged her and everything. And like, it's crazy to me that I like just kept like, okay, yeah, that's fine, just treat me like this. Okay, so then here's an incident. Like, okay, I've been in customer service forever, so I feel like I'm decent with customers. I usually get along with people, can talk to them. The whole time I was there, like, I was getting along with the customers, everything was going fine. So here's an example of like how it was just always just strange, the behavior. So this lady, yeah, she was like a customer who probably was not going to be pleased, but still, it's a customer. So she is like not finding the lashes she wants. So she was like talking to the manager, and then I was standing there. We were all kind of like at the register, and she looks at me and she's like, what lashes are you wearing? And I was like, oh, they're called Icon, like you get them online. And the manager says, like, kind of like joking, because like we're all there, and she's saying it in front of her, like, no, Sephora. And I'm like, what do I say? I'm like, I'm not gonna lie, like, and it was strange because it was like, I'm not promoting Sephora, but a customer asked me a direct question, like, you want me to lie, like, and pretend my lashes are from, like, it was strange. It was strange. And then after that, that customer like stayed and was like talking to me and was like, because it made the whole situation awkward. Like, what customer, like, you are worried about getting repeat customers, but you're acting like, seriously? Like, I just don't get it. So then my very last shift, okay, like, it was just always just a rude tone with me. So everyone's standing behind the register talking and and we're not supposed to do that. So she like looks at me and just in the rudest voice, like, I wish you could have heard it. She's like, get out there on the floor so we don't get. And I'm like, I'm thinking, like, did you really just speak to me like that? Like, I know I'm seasonal and not a real employee, but you're literally acting like I'm not like a person and you guys are. Like, it was so odd. And I was like, okay, yeah, sure. So I go out there. My last day was the day before Christmas. I just heard from her not even a week ago. She went over 3 weeks, didn't schedule me without telling me that I'm fired. Okay. I found out through somebody else who told me, like, read to me, like, her saying, like, in a message, like, yeah, I'm not keeping Natalie. That's how I found out. So after 3 weeks, she tries to call me. She doesn't know that I know. And she's like, hey, just call me back when you have a set. So I'm just like so disgusted at this point. So I call her back, miss it. You know, she calls me back. Oh, we're playing phone tag. I have a phone. We're going to keep playing phone tag. I never called back again after we went back. Like, okay. Even though I have like all this anger about it, I knew that if I called her back, it was going to be one of two things. I was either going to let her tell me I'm done and like just be like, oh, all right, bye. Or I was going to just go in, because That's how I felt. And like, you know, I have talked to so many people about this, and anytime, like, because I guess I'm feeling like, oh, then they're like, Natalie, that is insane. Like, no, you are not in the wrong at all. You do not deserve, like, no one deserves to be treated like that. Like, that's just crazy. Seasonal, not seasonal, real employee, like, it's crazy. I tried, like, that's when, like, I was having one of my moments and I was like, no, I'm just gonna go to go higher up. And not even, like, at this point, I didn't want to work there. That's not what this was about, like, the whole behavior, and just, like, I couldn't let it go because it was just, like, blowing my mind. And that was when I called Sephora and they were like, you would have to go to Penny's. And I was like, you know what? I can't keep going with this. Like, I can't. Like, what am I gonna do? Go to Penny's and then have to have a meeting? Like, I'm not doing that. Like, this is done. But I knew I wanted to make a video about it because I see, like, other, like, Sephora experience videos, and I can't explain it. Maybe it's me being petty, but or passive aggressive or whatever, but I knew I was going to make a video about it because, like, it was something where it was like I just felt so wronged and I could not let it go. And I just felt like I could not let it go without, like, sharing it or, like, letting, like, someone know, like, look, this is, like, what I had to experience and go through. Because when I tell you, like, it just stressed me out, and it was just the worst work experience. Like, I've had bad work experiences. I worked at that bar I worked at, and I'm telling my other story, he would throw stuff at me in front of customers, like, throw rags at me, like, bottle cap, like, and not, like, friendly, like, mean. I honestly cannot believe I wanted to work there so badly. Like, it just, but everything happens for a reason. It just, like, reiterates to me, like, Natalie, like, look how far you have come. Like, you want to do your own thing and just, like, really excel, and that's what you need to do. Like, what if things would have worked out? Like, what if she would have been amazing and she would have kept you and scheduled you all the time? Like, I wouldn't have had time or wouldn't have as quickly pursued what I want to be doing. So it's just, like, things keep happening, I feel like, to just, like, reinforce, like, I need to stay focused on this because this is what I truly want. I cannot believe I just shared all that. Oh wow, that is just, whew, that is a lot, and it is bedtime, guys. I am exhausted. I cannot wait to wake up tomorrow and not do any makeup. Nope, not do anything related to makeup. I'm gonna have to edit these, but editing isn't that bad. When you sit down for hours and do makeup and film videos, the editing is like, all right, I got this. But yeah, so I guess I won't see you till next week. I'll let you know how the test goes. And okay, again, like, this was not on Sephora. Like, after I was like, I'm never shopping in Sephora again. Like, I can't. But then I'm like, this isn't even Sephora. They're not even connected to Sephora. Like, I can't be like that. I can't be better. But, like, I don't know. I just had to get it out. And I'm not gonna, like, sit here and name call or be like that, blah, blah. Like, that's not how I wanted to do this. It's like, I wanted to say the experiences that I experienced and how I felt based on my experiences. And I feel like that's what I did here. And I did it as calmly and professionally as possible. I don't know, but yeah. So, like or not like this video, subscribe to my channel, and yeah, I will see you guys next week. I hope you have a great weekend. Bye.